So today we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 55 of the series, and the series end is coming soon. In our last episode, we saw a plethora of events happen. The terrorist organization expanded, the gold team expanded, this huge South American country formed, and a couple things happened in America. But anyways, if you guys enjoy these videos, please make sure to like and subscribe as we're trying to reach 600 subscribers before the end of the month. I feel it's very possible. As the time I'm recording this, it is currently the 23rd, and currently I think we're at 547. So please subscribe. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video, looking at well, I guess the central map in the Mediterranean area. And we're gonna be focused in here for a little bit as we're gonna talk about some stuff happening on both sides and the. So basically, Sicily invaded Tunisia when the Algerian country fell a long time ago and grabbed up this piece of land. This piece of land, though, is not identifying with Sicily in any way. It's not the same culture at despite it for sometimes it was like under the blue team. I think at some point in the early part of the series. I think parts of it were under the blue team and obviously the green team. But they will now give it over to Libya, giving them a lot more land and a lot more coastal land in this port kind of Tunisia area. Also, yes, I didn't make Malta big because Malta's cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over to Iberia, where some stuff is brewing. So, like, pretty much all four of these countries are pretty old, actually. The red team and the blue team are obviously the first two countries that existed in the world, and the pink countries and the pink country and the green country are also pretty old, but, like, they're back. So, yeah. But the pink team is actually going to willfully join the blue Iberian slash Valencia, and, well, yeah. So, now we can see that Portugal is kind of all on its own. And, well, there's nothing to kind of stop that from happening. It is important to know the blue team and the red team, they do not like each other. They have like a slight negative opinion of each other, so that's just something to note. But they both have a negative opinion of the I guess Portuguese. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about over here. You remember how this whole thing right here started World War III? The Ottoman Empire is allowed back. Now that all these countries are democracies, the Ottoman Empire is allowed again, and many countries join it. Well, this is interesting. If we go ahead and go onto the cities layer, we can go ahead and put the capital right there where the Ottoman Empire's capital used to be. And, well, some of these countries around it are voting to join it, such as the Northern Anatolian country, as well as this blue team. And even this green team over here is holding a vote. And this Ottoman Empire is it's back. It hasn't existed for it hasn't existed for around 5 episodes, but before that it hasn't existed since like episode 25 or something like that, which is pretty insane. As the Ottomans were originally one of the oldest countries in the world. But coming down south over here in Africa, a large event is gonna happen, which is a unification of a lot of these landlocked countries. And it's not just landlocked countries as it seems. This is a large union, and there's a very big country now in Africa. There already are some big countries like the Green Team, Egypt, Ethiopia, South Africa, and now this new thing. And this country is monetarily strong. There's already a kind of alliance happening here with the Central African slash Sub-Saharan Federation, and that now is, well, part of itself. It exists as its own. The countries like the yellow team right here, and even the blue team are holding votes if they want to join. Well, not holding votes, but like, they're getting a lot of calls within them to join. Also, the red team apparently still holds places in Equatorial Guinea. This country is, it's relatively strong. It's around the same strongness as South Africa. That means it's relatively strong though. So, yay. Let's go back to the terrorists. The terrorists will take over the whole white team and will eventually have to, well, they're dealing with a lot of stuff in this country right now. The gray team is not having fun with this. However, they will now become part of this whole terrorist organization, which is obviously not good for them, and they weren't expecting to die that quickly. But now they're continuing their invasion instead now into this purple country right here. and we can see that they've also been putting up with the yellow team. However, it's been pretty like stalemated up here, as the yellow team is a very big country, and some of these countries, I swear, have not done anything this whole time. Like, I don't think this brown Japanese country, they've barely done anything, but they don't really have to do anything. Anyways, let's come back over to the North, or what's the anti and Arabian pact. So the anti-Arabian Union is probably stronger than the Arabian Union. Surprisingly, the Arabian Union is gonna get the country of the Ottoman Empire. They're gonna get the Ottoman Empire onto their side as its own country. And well, yeah, that's a pretty big effect because if you because like these areas in the Ottomans are very old areas, and well, they're also very powerful areas. They're good economical areas, which means that the Diamond Alliance now has just a bunch more stuff. But anyways, let's talk about something very special, and that is nuclear weapons. The only nuclear country in the world right now is the Southern French slash just regular French Union, and they will be increasing their stack from 1 to 7. They have increased their nuclear stuff by a lot, obviously. And they're getting rapid nuclear technology kind of expansion, so that's good for them. But another country has just figured out how to get nukes as they've spied on the southern French. And it's actually the North Indian Federation. They have two nuclear weapons now. That's right, they spied on the southern French, and it seems like the North Indian Federation may not be the democratic country it proceeds to be. I mean, the ideology still exists, but it literally makes no sense now because I said I wouldn't be updating this later because they're pretty much all democratic now. But just know that this country isn't all innocent. And of course, that country got spied on by the by the Arabian people, and now they have their own nuclear weapon. So it's just a game of spies until everything just gets leaked, and it's probably all gonna get leaked by the Arabian Union. But now we have three nuclear powers in the world, and two of them don't like each other. The other one's just chill. Coming over here to the area known as Atlantis, some of this area in the blue team just is like super rebellious, and this area does break away. This is a very large and important area over to the blue team, and the red team sees this as their opportunity to go ahead and invade, and that does happen. And this is the peace treaty. These guys' capital is gonna actually go ahead and up here and be in the north. I do have to update the cities layer though, and the religion layer. Oops. Coming over here, the pink team is going to go ahead and annex the yellow country right here. After a referendum is held in the yellow country, whether to join, and it was like everybody decided to join. Coming over here in Quebec, an incident happens at the border right here. A train wreck happens and basically hits a bunch of people in this part of the gold team. But that also happens to cross over here into the purple team and kill civilians, which makes the purple team very mad about this. The gold team doesn't even apologize, and that's when the purple team like is goes full on haywire, and they're like, "Oh, you better apologize." And they open the cities later. When they open the cities later, that's not good. So their soldiers, for some reason, they were already ready on this border, and they completely just annihilate anybody that was here. And well, they take the city right here and kind of encircle the wreck. But eventually, this is all taken. They also will manage to go into this part of the purple team right here. And they also capture this major city right here. They even go up into more areas of the Hudson Bay, capturing more populated areas of this bay, I guess. And, well, they get this encirclement and they fully capture it. Sorry, Paint.net is being very slow today. I don't know what's going on. The purple team starts and continues their invasion and takes the capital of the gold country without much resistance. From here, a sweep will happen, and this just takes a lot of the important and valuable areas of the gold country. And after about 3 months into the war, yeah, just 3 months. This all took about 3 months. The full gold team was they surrender. They know they were going to die. And in the peace treaty, I was honestly thinking about not doing this, but I consider it and I'm doing it. Yeah, they get fully annexed. They get fully annexed by the purple. That's not what I actually. That's a cool color. I'm gonna keep that. And this new country over here in Quebec It's a very strong country. It doesn't look like it's that strong, but it is pretty good, military populated, and just everything else. Going over here to Southeast Asia, we see a country who has lost a lot of land, and they're ready to take this all back as they start invading their former countries that used to be a part of them. This is not pretty, as Borneo is way stronger than these other Malaysian countries. This country falls very quickly, and this one is next, as Borneo doesn't care. They want their land back. They willfully gave it up. They willfully gave it up during that whole fiasco where they had a civil war, but no, not anymore. And well, yeah, it's fully under Borneo now. And Borneo is once again reunited as its own country, and we finally have some better action happening over here in Southeast Asia. Speaking of more action, countries over here start to declare their independence. New Caledonia declares their independence from Australia. Fiji and Vanuatu also do, but they're under one country, and I should make that more apparent. What color should I make it? I'll make it like an orange. So they're under one country, so that's more apparent. And then for New Zealand, they will also be divided within two. And we can go ahead and give cities now. I mean capitals. So we can see that New Zealand will get its, well, I guess the South Island of New Zealand will get their capital right there. The North will get it in the northernmost spot. Capital of New Caledonia will of course be right there. And the capital of these two will actually go ahead and be in Vanuatu. So not in Fiji like people expected it to be. And also you don't have a capital, so you can get one right there. A lot of stuff has been happening in the Australasian areas, and this is something new because usually stuff doesn't happen here. Also, I just want to say this right now: these countries have really no connection. I know when I broke up the Southeast Asian Union, like at way like what is 10, 15, 20 episodes ago. I know when I broke those guys up, I didn't really explain it, but these guys are not friendly with each other, but they're also not necessarily enemies, but they could make each other enemies in the future. We'll just have to see what happens. So the former Russian dude, well, I guess no, just the Russian country right here, is going to start their invasion of the northern country above them. Remember, this is somebody who's trying to recapture the old glory, the old green, dark, or old dark green Russian country, and this guy's capital is captured very quickly. This brown country doesn't really have anything to like they can't be stopped. It's kind of dark goldish country or dark greenish slash gold country. It doesn't stand a chance at all, and people are starting to wonder, like, these guys are having to be getting funded by somebody, right? Anyways, the gold team falls, and they're fully annexed by the brown country, making the brown country probably double, and then in like maybe a half of a double its size. And the country right here, the Dark Sign country, they're just gonna go ahead and join them. They were not even a part. I mean, they were a part of Russia, but they were not a part of the original countries that the brown country wanted to take. And with more and more like people wanting to go ahead and reform that old Russian country, it's more plausible each day that this is going to happen. Anyways, let's take a look at our last event over in Caucasia, where we see a union forming up. It's an actual Caucasian union. The capital will be in the Persian part of it though, but like this is a very like, strong country on the map. As you can see, it's a pretty big and powerful country, and yes, it does support Arabia, which means the countries around it, like this dark red country right here, which once pretty sure had a war with the yellow team. Um, it might not like Arabia, and might more like India better. Even though they fought against each other, it's still very confusing on the all these sides here because they just got out of the war and now they're hating each other again. Anyways, like I said, that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach what? We're trying to reach 600 subscribers before the end of the month. I think it's pretty accomplishable. Anyways, if you guys enjoy, I'm about to loop again. Bye.